KazzNation Sports Talk Show with your host, David Kazz, and your color commentator, Mr. Derek Gunning.
Hey KazzNation, David Kazz07 here with the ever-elusive color commentator, Mr. Derek Gunning. We're going to talk to you briefly about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to make it as quick as possible because we are still recovering, and we'll be back at you this week with another video here as we're doing some more additions, some more changes here. But as we discuss this, first things first, who do you have? Who are you picking? Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills.
Picking the Buffalo Bills. Of course, Von Miller, new addition. It's going to be a great game.
So when I look at this matchup, and I pick the Bills too, I look at this matchup, I look at two things: offense, defense. Special teams, they're both great. So I'm not worried about the special teams. Then I think about, well, the offenses are pretty much the same. I mean, we have a little bit more talent. Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox, Gabriel Davis.
Yeah.
And that new kid, Shakir, that's coming out. Is that his name, Shakir? He looks amazing.
Boise State.
Offense, we're a little bit better. But they've got Patrick Mahomes.
And Kelsey still. They still have Kelsey. 4 touchdowns last game.
Travis Kelce, 25 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Still
25 yards. 4 of his 8 receptions are touchdowns. How many yards were his other receptions is what I want to know. He had 8 receptions, 25 yards. That's disgusting. But 4 touchdowns. All that matters is the big house, the big points. He is a great touchdown red zone target. You can't pass him. And if he's not being defended as he was against Oakland, they played the Raiders last time. Sounds like I'm asking a question. I'm not asking a question, I promise. But the way that Oakland stopped him from getting any room was great, except for in the red zone. You just can't stop him. So you could try to limit his touchdowns. I don't think he gets 4 touchdowns this game. I think he gets 2. I still think he's going to have his, and Patrick Mahomes is going to have his. So offenses, at this point, I think they're pretty even. I do think that Josh Allen's got more big play capability. I think they're going to do this next part, which is the deciding factor of the game, is the defense.
I'm definitely saying offense is a little better.
We have to see it, right? I mean, we saw it in the playoff game where they went off, and last 2 minutes they scored like 30-some-odd points.
They walked off the field winners.
Oh, you mean talking about last year before the playoffs?
No, in the playoff game, they walked the offense. The offense doesn't play defense.
Oh, you're saying the offense did their job. They still lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as much as they want, there's still some parts where they could have been better on the offense.
That's on special teams and defense part of it,
Special teams and defense. You're right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You can look at Allen and go, why didn't you stop Kelsey, dude? And he's going to be like, because I was on the bench waiting for you guys to do that. Yeah.
So let's break some stats off real quick.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Defensive stats. So 103 first downs Kansas City has allowed, right? 103. Buffalo Bills, 91. Not too much of a difference. We're pretty even. I mean, that's 10, 12 first downs. Okay. Let's go. How many third down conversions? 24 out of 61 for the Bills. Their defense has stopped vast majority of them. You could only move 24 times when you have 61 attempts. Go to Kansas City, and this is the key number here. 25 and 65. So far, defenses look great, right? Both defenses are doing a great job. Total offensive yards, 1696 for Kansas City. And then the Buffalo Bills, and this is, again, their defense. This is what their defense is allowing, 1,300 yards. 1,300 yards. That's a 300-yard difference plus. 300-yard plus difference. So they are limiting teams. Again, they've played 2 really bad teams. Buffalo Bills has played mediocre teams, 2 of them. But they've also played teams, 3 of them that were in the AFC or in conversations to be in the playoffs this year. Miami, Titans, and the Rams, right?
Oh, we played Baltimore, too. They're definitely.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. So Baltimore, Rams, and Miami were the three teams I'm saying good, and the mediocre teams,
The Steelers are not.
Steelers and then the Titans. I don't like the Titans. I really don't. I don't think they're good. Derrick Henry is finally going off, but I digress. We're not talking about them. So we played two mediocre teams. Kind of. The Titans were the AFC number 1 seed last year. So we played 4 good teams and 1 bad team, right? And all of them were in the playoffs, or except for Miami. Miami was an average team last year, and they blew up this year, but Tua Tagovailoa is out. But we played Tua Tagovailoa and only lost by, 3 points? So Patrick Mahomes, he plays decent teams, loses to Indianapolis, the Colts. Not a good team.
That was a shocker.
That was a shocker. That was an oofer. And they almost lost 2 more games after that. They almost lost to Oakland. If you kick a field goal and you make it. It's interesting how close those games are. When Bills win, you can't stop them. You gotta have 2 scores, at least beat them. At least tie it. At least 2 scores.
That Dolphins game we played, we were a Tyler Bass field goal kick away from winning that game. So.
And Josh Allen 400 yards. But I digress. 8 sacks for Buffalo as of right now. Kansas City has 8 sacks. The issue that I have right now is that Kansas City, their offensive line lets in 13 sacks. Von Miller is going to have some fun. But the Buffalo Bills have let in 16 sacks. Those are really high numbers in general. I think they're one of the 2 most highest sack teams, minus the Bengals and I want to say the Colts. That's really high numbers that sacks are being allowed, but I think it's because Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes both roll out, and they roll out into people. People are starting to scheme correctly amongst their running individuality. Who's a better runner, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Josh
Allen. And I'm biased. Either way,
Josh Allen does cooler things. Stiff arms, jumps over people.
Either you're going to get burned, so they're even. It's even. They'll both burn it for 40 yards. But I'm biased, and I say Josh Allen. Woo, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's another defensive stat. Total passing yards the Bills have allowed 913. Total passing yards they have allowed 1,278 for Kansas City's defense. 1,278. Their secondary is awful. Bill's secondary is injured and still stopping teams from moving the ball.
Side note,
it starts
back to practice.
Kansas City secondary is awful. Bill's secondary is great. Bill's secondary has injuries all up and down their roster. I mean, Jordan Poyer, he's coming to play, I think. Matt Milano was coming to play. We're starting to get people back, and they're starting to get healthy.
Right back to practice. Yeah.
The problem is we have practice squad players, but our defense schemes very well against all of their opponents. We're so suspect to Patrick Mahomes. Not saying Patrick Mahomes is not good. He's great. But defensively, they are the better team. And that's what's going to change the game. That's why I think that Buffalo Bills win by 2 scores or more. Could be 10 points, could be 14. I just don't think Patrick Mahomes can stop this heavy offense. The defensive line, there's 4 people that they rush. They don't blitz. And when they do blitz, they get home every single time. It's a different mindset when you played this team versus the team last year. They literally built their team to realize we didn't pressure Mahomes. We did nothing to stop him. He had free reign over our secondary, and our secondary could only hold up so much. The first quarter wasn't great stats for either team. They get to that second quarter, third, fourth, and the amazing fourth quarter that happened with 2 minutes of 30-plus points. It's because the secondary is tired on both sides. You're able to throw bombs, and Hill's running, Diggs is running, touchdown. What's going to stop this is
that was Davis' show. That was a Gabe Davis show.
It was a Gabe Davis show. Gabe Davis is going to be a difference maker, but the one person that they hired to help our defense get better, to train our players and teach them to be better, is Von Miller. So at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. Bills score 40 points. Kansas City scores 20 points. 20 the 20 points. So it would be 26, 27, 21, 22. but Bills will beat them by 2 scores.
No, I want to hear your score. Give me a score. What's your
Give
score?
you a score,
Give me a score.
49-27.
49-27 Bills. I'm going to
49-27.
go. I'll go 31-20.
We both have Kansas City scoring 21 or less points. I bet you we end up being wrong, but because we can't give up on Patrick Mahomes. No matter what, he's always going to try to find a way to stay in the game. I think Josh Allen plays the full game. I think that if he is not playing, it's the last 2 minutes where they're just kneeling the ball. That's it.
I'm just going based on, like I said, we know about Kelsey, but who else is gonna catch the? You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna catch the ball. We just don't know who it's gonna be. You know what I mean? There's not like you're not like, oh, there's Diggs or there's Davis. Like obviously there's Kelsey, but who do we know? We're gonna sit here and say for sure is gonna have 10 plus catches for 100 some yards, 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
Just don't know. I just don't know yet. So
Patrick Mahomes' stat line against Oakland: 29 for 43 attempts, 292 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And I'll leave you with this, Bills fans. Bills Mafia. What Josh Allen did against Pittsburgh Steelers: 20 for 31, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, with 5 carries for 42 yards. Josh Allen is a beast.
Stud.
Do you want to do a closing remark?
I got nothing. Go Buffalo.
So go Buffalo. Go Zach Moss. Go James Cook. Go Devin Singletary. Help us out. Get the play action going.
Let's hope my parlay hits.
What's your parlay?
11-leg parlay.
He's going to send me the link to his parlay. He's going to send me a picture. I'm going to put it up at the end of the video. Let's hope he gets it.
I will. No, I'll even send it now. I'll send it now.
But all right, well, thank you guys so much. This is a quick review. We just want to put something up here so you guys know that we're still alive, we're still here, we're still kicking, and can't wait for a recap and talk about Bills Mafia. And if the Bills win, I'll be decked out in Bills Mafia gear. Everything. Gangster outfit, you name it, I'll be ready to rock and roll the entire time. And Derek will make the drive out over here, so it'll be fun. Go Bills.
Go Bills.